Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I want to thank you for coming to our presentation. Hello all, nice to meet you all. My name is Muhammad Fauzi Ali and my friend Fioni Hildayati, Arsari Sri Devi, Ismul Hadis and Rani Indrial. Now, we want to present about Terminology of Accounting. Okay, next, the first material delivered by Arsari Sri Devi. Time is yours.
There are two ways to record transaction: cash basis accounting or accrual basis accounting. Cash basis accounting records only transaction with cash receipts, and cash payments. When cash is received, revenue are recorded. When cash is paid, expense are recorded. Is a result, revenue are recorded only when cash is received, and expense are recorded only when cash is paid. The cash basis of accounting is not allowed under generally accepted accounting principles. However, small business will sometimes use this method. The cash method is easier accounting method to follow because it generally requires less knowledge of accounting concepts and principles. The cash basis accounting method also does a good job of tracking a business cash flows. Accrual basis accounting record the effect of each transaction as it occurs. That is, revenues are recorded when earned and expenses are recorded when incurred. Revenue are considered to be earned when the service or goods are provided to the customers. Most business of the accrual basis is covered in this book. The accrual basis of accounting provides a better picture of a business revenue and expense. It records revenue only when it has been earned and expense only when they have been incurred. Under accrual basis accounting, it is irrelevant when cash is received or paid. So, next are the advantages and weakness of cash basis and accrual basis. Cash basis advantage 1. Used to record the recognition of income, expenditure, and financing. 2. Income is recognized when cash is received, so that it truly reflects the actual possession. 3. Expenses are not recognized until payment is made in cash, even though the expense have been incurred, so that they do not cause a reduction in the calculation of income. 4. Cash receipts are usually recognized as revenue. 5. The financial statement presents show the financial possession that existed at the time of the report. 6. There is no need for a company to make allowance for uncollectible cash. Weakness of cash basis 1. Can reduce the calculation of bank income because of the recognition of income until the receipt of cash. 2. There is a direct write-off of accounts receivables, and there is no estimation of uncollectible account. 3. Any cash disbursements are recognized as an expense. 4. Doesn't reflect the amount of cash available. 5. Usually used by relatively small businesses such as shop stalls, supermarkets, doctors' practice, etc. Six, it is difficult to carry out a transaction with a delayed payment because the recording is recognized when the cash comes in or goes out. 7. It is difficult for management to determine a policy going forward because it is always based on cash.
Thanks to Arsari Sridevi. Next presentation to be read by Ismu Hadis. Time is yours.
Accrual basis, time periods concept, assumes that a business activities can be stretched into small time segments and that financial statement can be prepared for specific period, such as a month, quarter, or year, fiscal year. An accounting year of any is consecutive month that may of may not coincide with the calendar year. A revenue recognition principle requires companies to record revenue when or as the entity satisfies performance obligation. Matching principle. What what is accounting for expense insurance and that all expenses are recorded when they are incurred during the period and makes to such spend again the revenue of the period.
Thanks to Ismul Hadis. Next presentation 3 be read by Fioni Hildayati. Time is yours.
Okay, friends, I will explain the discussion about the advantages and weakness of accrual basis. The first, used to measure assets, liabilities, and equity. The third, income and expenses are recognized when a transaction occurs, so the information provided is more reliable even though the cash has not been received. The second, widely used by large companies in accordance with the provisions of Indonesia GAAP. There are three advantages of accrual basis. There are three weaknesses of accrual basis. The next discussion is the weakness of the accrual basis. The first, costs that haven't been paid in cash will be recorded effectively as costs so as to reduce the company's revenue. The second, there is a risk of uncollectible income so that it can be reduced the company's revenue. The establishment of reserve fund that will reduce company revenues.
Thanks to Fioni Hildayati. Next presentation 4 be read by Rani Indriel. Time is yours.
Example of cash basis and accrual basis accounting records. PT Jaya Makmur sells goods in the form of instant noodles and sends them to its customer PT Sukamakmur on 3 June 2020, worth EGR 3,600,000. PT Sukamakmur paid for the purchase of instant noodles at PT Jaya Makmur 2 weeks later, on 17 June 2020. How do you record it on a cash basis and accrual basis? 1. On the cash basis of accounting records, sending instant noodles to PT Sukamakmur on 3 June 2020 is not yet as income. Write income on 17 June 2020 after receiving cash from PT Sukamakmur. 2. Whereas on the accrual basis method on 3 June 2020, as soon as 3 is a cell. Assets. Number 1. Tangible assets. These assets are the backbone of a company but are not available to customers. Tangible assets are at risk of being damaged either from an incident, robbery, or accident that occurs naturally. The two types of tangible assets: 1. Current asset, 2. Fixed asset. Number 2. Intangible asset. Intangible assets are identifiable, non-monetary assets that cannot be seen, touched, or physically measured, are created through time and effort, and are identifiable as a spirit asset. Example: patents, trademarks, franchises, goodwill, and copyrights.
Thanks to Rani Indrial. Okay, next, if any of your friends want to give feedback or ask, please comment on this video. Thank you, friend. Thank you for your attention to participate in this presentation. If there is something wrong, we apologize for that and thank you. See you all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.